After starting off behind the Chargers in the division race, the Kansas City Chiefs are now pulled up next to them on a 3-game winning streak, but could they make it 4 in a row against Carolina? While the Chiefs are heating up, the Colts are starting to cool down. Can they stop their 3-game skid when they play the Lions? And with the Cincinnati Bengals on a bye week, how were the other AFC North teams able to capitalize on potentially catching up with them? All that and more coming up here on Tecmo Rewind. Hello everybody and welcome to Tecmo Rewind. I'm your host Joe, here to bring you all of the highlights from around the league. And boy, week 12 certainly provided some excitement and a few surprises. We had 6 teams off this week in the form of Atlanta, Buffalo, Cincinnati, Jacksonville, New Orleans, and the Jets. But that doesn't mean that the other teams in the league were not going to give us one heck of a showing with what they were able to do. A couple division rivalries that were going on, some potential playoff spots as we start getting closer and closer to the end of this season. No teams eliminated yet, but was that able to change this week? Statistically, no, but a couple teams are right on the edge now as a result of that, but we'll get to those when we get to them. For now, we're actually going to start with one of the best games we actually had this week. Lions playing host to the Colts, Anthony Richardson making his return from injury for Indianapolis. They'll start with the ball in the first quarter. Richardson will throw for Michael Pittman Jr. He's going to take this one 43 yards into Detroit territory. That gets good field position for Indianapolis. They keep driving down the field. However, Richardson going to get sacked for 8 yards by Alan McNeil on this play, but that's alright because on the very next play, Richardson going to carefully thread the needle past this Lions defender for a throw for Michael Pittman Jr. He has to dive for a 17-yard touchdown, makes this 7-0 Indianapolis. On the next possession, which belongs to the Lions, however, they would fumble the ball. David Montgomery going to get stripped, and Julian Blackmon going to pick it up and break 3 tackles on his way to a 35-yard scoop and score to make it 14-0 Indianapolis. On the ensuing kickoff return, Craig Reynolds going to get stripped as well of the football, but it's going to bounce into the hands of Frank Ragnow this time, so Detroit gets to keep a hold of it. A couple of plays after that, Goff going to drop back while in shotgun formation and throw to his right for Jameson Williams here, who has the leaping grab. A 55-yard touchdown makes it 14-7. Second quarter, Matt Gay going to kick a 23-yard field goal to put Indianapolis up by 10. A couple plays into the next drive for the Lions, Goff going to get swarmed before he's taken down by Kenny Moore II for a loss of 10. They'd be forced to punt. Next Colts possession, Richardson going to try and throw for Michael Pittman Jr., but it goes into the arms of Kirby Joseph, who gets taken down almost immediately, but it's still a pick for him. That gets good field position for Jared Goff to connect here with a throw for Jameson Williams yet again in the back of the end zone for a touchdown. A 24-yarder makes it 17-14. Indianapolis still has the lead. But on the Colts' next possession, Brian Branch going to pick off this throw that was meant for Adonai Mitchell and take it back 12 yards. Lions unable to capitalize on it, however, so they would punt on the next Indy possession. Michael Pittman Jr. going to fumble the ball, but this one bounces out of bounds, so that saves it for the Colts. They keep going, and Richardson going to get taken down by Aiden Hutchinson for a loss of 3. That's how the second quarter would end. Third quarter, Goff going to try and run forward here, but Laiatu Latu, the rookie out of UCLA, going to get the sack for a loss of 8. Keep going though, David Montgomery going to get handed the ball. This time he's going to not only keep a hold of it, but he's going to take this one into the end zone for a touchdown, a 36-yard run to make it 21-17 Lions. Next Colts possession, Richardson going to throw across his body for Josh Downs. That's why you don't want to do that. Brian Branch there for the interception, taking it back 11 yards for the Lions, and that'll help to set up Goff getting this connection to the sun god himself, Amon-Ra St. Brown. Touchdown for him, makes it 27-17 because the extra point gets blocked by Indianapolis. On the Colts' next possession, Richardson dropping back, looking and throwing over the middle for Josh Downs. Unfortunately, that gets picked off by Carlton Davis, so the Lions going to try and keep running up the score here. Goff going to try and run forward, but EJ Speed makes like his namesake and quickly gets to Jared Goff. So they go for the 60-yard field goal by Jake Bates, but it's too short, so we still have a 10-point game on our hands. On the Colts possession following that missed field goal, a throw for Kylan Granson is a touchdown to make it 27-24. On the ensuing kickoff, Craig Reynolds going to fumble this one into the arms of EJ Speed, who's got a hold of it and takes it back 8 yards. That'll help to set up this Anthony Richardson 3-yard punch-in to make it 31-27 Indianapolis. We go into the fourth quarter. It's a one-score game. Goff, play action, roll to his left, throw for Amon-Ra St. Brown in the corner of the end zone for the touchdown to make it 34-31. But Anthony Richardson's got some legs on him as well. He gets a touchdown run here for a 38-34 Indianapolis lead. So, Lions on the back foot yet again. Jared Goff going to get taken down from behind by Grover Stewart for a loss of 7. So, for Goff, this one is going to be a pretty big play, a throw for Samuel Laporta. It's going to be big because Samuel Laporta is going to do probably a majority of the work here, using his legs and some arms to break through with the inner strength there for a 47-yarder. And that will help to set up this touchdown pass to Williams to make it 41-38. Colts still have a chance, though, following that kickoff. Richardson going to hand this one off to Jonathan Taylor. He's going to run along the far sideline, and Taylor going to get some good running off that one. That'll get them onto the 40-yard line. Very next play, though, Richardson's going to throw for Josh Downs, but it's picked off this time. It's by Carlton Davis, but he fumbles it, and it's picked up by Anthony Richardson, who's trying to fight for every last yard. He is shedding tackles, but he's running out of time. Can he? Could he? Will he? He will be stopped at the 2. So that's how that one's going to end. The Lions come away with a very close victory that they almost didn't get. 41-38. They improve to 8-2 and take on the Bears next week. Meanwhile, the Colts drop to 6-5, and next week they got to head to New England to take on the Patriots. Moving on now to a big division rivalry battle in the NFC East. The Cowboys taking on the Commanders. Kevontae Turpin making his return for Dallas after he was injured. First quarter, Jaden Daniels going to try and run forward here, but he's going to get taken down by Micah Parsons for a loss of 2. A couple plays after that, Daniels going to throw for over the middle for Zach Ertz, but he's picked off by Donovan Wilson, who takes it back 9 yards. Very next play, Dak dropping back, looking easily for Brandon Cooks to his right. Cook's going to just leap up, grab this one, and get into some good field position. A 42-yard pass that goes into Washington territory. That'll help to set up Dak connecting with CeeDee Lamb in the end zone here. A throw for Lamb, who's just outside the end zone, but he's able to get in easily. A 15-yard touchdown makes it 7-0 Cowboys. Next Commanders possession, Daniels in shotgun formation trying to run forward, but DeMarcus Lawrence there to take him down for a loss of 9. Washington would be forced to punt. Next Dallas possession, Dak going to try and run forward, but he's going to get taken down from behind by Daron Payne, who dives for his ankles. That's all right, says Dallas. We'll just kick the field goal. Brandon Aubrey, 58-yarder, makes it 10-0 Dallas. Next Commanders possession starts with Byron Pringle being injured on the kick return here. A 7-yarder, which he unfortunately will not return to the game from. Jeremy McNichols will come in to replace him at that position. Continuing on into the Commanders' drive, we go into the second quarter. A throw for Zach Ertz is unable to get into Zach Ertz's hands. Instead, it goes into Donovan Wilson's hands yet again. That'll help to set up Ezekiel Elliott running this one in from 18 yards after he zigs and zags. That's a touchdown for the Cowboys, making it 17-0. Next Commanders possession, Daniels going to be swarmed by the defense. DeMarcus Lawrence there with his second sack of the day for a loss of 9. They go for the Cade York 58-yard field goal, and it doinks off the right upright in. 17-3, Cowboys still have the lead. Cowboys would punt on their next possession, and a throw for Olamide Zaccheaus, unfortunately overthrown. Malik Hooker going to take this back the other way 11 yards. We go to the third quarter now. Kevontae Turpin on the starting kick return. He is going to zig and zag around as much as he can for a 34-yard return. That'll help to set up good field position for Dallas, and they'll get even better field position when Prescott hooks up with Cooks to get into Washington territory on a 40-yard pass. And a couple plays after that, Dak going to drop back before he looks and finds Brandon Cooks in the end zone, this time for a touchdown, 24-3 Dallas. On the next Commanders possession, Daniels in shotgun formation, trying to run forward. He's going to break a tackle here, but he won't break this one. Jordan Lewis going to take him down for a loss of 4, but they keep on going. Daniels tosses this one for Brian Robinson Jr., who will run along the far sideline. Unfortunately, he's going to be injured following that play, which is unfortunate. They would really need him, an 8-yard run, is the last play he will have for the day, and Jeremy McNichols will come in for him as well. They keep going down the field. Daniels will play action before he looks and throws for Olamide Zaccheaus, who's got the touchdown here to make it 24-10. The Cowboys would punt it on the next Commanders' possession. Daniels going to get taken down by Jordan Lewis for a loss of 2. Fourth quarter, Commanders keep driving down the field, but Micah Parsons gets to Daniels yet again. So, 4th and 10. Daniels got to do something. Play action. Gonna try something. He can't get anything off. Mazi Smith gets credited with the 7-yard sack and a turnover on downs. That'll help Dak and the Cowboys win this one. So we're in garbage time, really. And it's going to be assured once this 39-yard touchdown to Ezekiel Elliott goes through. 31-10 Dallas. Commanders just playing for pride here. McNichols not able to get really anywhere. A loss of 6 on a 4th down. But the Cowboys would punt. Next Commanders possession, a throw for Zaccheaus is intercepted by Trayvon Diggs. And that'll help to set up this Brandon Aubrey 41-yard field goal. 34-10 Cowboys lead. Commanders just gotta try something to get some kind of points on the board. Daniels going to try and throw to his left for Zach Ertz. Unfortunately, he is going to only find Trayvon Diggs, who gets his 2nd interception of the day. 5 interceptions off of Jaden Daniels helps the Cowboys win 34-10. They go to 6-4 and take on the Giants next week on Thanksgiving. Meanwhile, the Commanders, after starting off leading this division, now drop to 2-9, and next week they got to take on the Titans. So with the Cowboys winning, that means that the Eagles need to win their game against the Rams to stay tied with them in the NFC East lead. First quarter, Jalen Hurts going to get swarmed by one player before he's eventually taken down by Bobby Brown for the loss of 8. That would force the Eagles to punt. On the next drive for the Rams, we started pretty deep into the middle of the first quarter. Jordan Davis going to get the sack here on Matthew Stafford for the loss of 9. A couple plays after that, Stafford going to carefully throw this one for Colby Parkinson. Unfortunately, careful is not what you needed with C.J. Gardner-Johnson around for that interception. He takes it for Philly. A couple plays later, a throw for A.J. Brown is a touchdown here, a 46-yarder, to make it 7-0 Philadelphia. Second quarter, Stafford in shotgun formation, looking, waiting, going to throw for Kyren Williams. Unfortunately, it's going to get intercepted by Reed Blankenship, who's taking it back the other way. Somebody better stop him before he ends up scoring. He'll eventually get taken down at around the 20. Philly unable to really go anywhere with it, so they just go for the Jake Elliott field goal here to make it 10-0 Eagles. Next Rams possession, Stafford dropping back, running out of time is Nakobe Dean. Going to get credited with the sack there, a loss of 9. A couple plays after that, though, Stafford going to wait, run forward, throw for Cooper Kupp here. Kupp wide open, gets into Philadelphia territory, but the Eagles defense is slowly gaining speed on him, but it's still a 67-yard pass. That'll help to set up good field position for the Rams, but Stafford going to get sent back by Nakobe Dean yet again for a loss of 9. So, 4th and goal. They decide to go for it with a Kyren Williams run. Unfortunately, he gets sent back 6 yards, so it's a turnover on downs. Very next play, Hurts going to throw for A.J. Brown to his left, and Brown going to break wide open, getting into the Rams territory, a 54-yard pass. And near the end of the second quarter, a Jake Elliott 57-yard field goal puts the Eagles up 13-0. Third quarter, Rams, Stafford dropping back. Plenty of time right now. Going to try and run forward, though. Bryce Huff makes him run out of time for a sack, loss of 4. That'll force the Rams to punt, and Hurts going to try and throw here for A.J. Brown, and he will be successful with this leaping catch. Brown going to score here, a 66-yard touchdown to make it 20-0 Philadelphia, but the Rams would drive down the field. Kyren Williams going to get tossed the ball, and this time he will get into the end zone for the touchdown. 20-7, Philadelphia still has the lead. Next Eagles possession, Hurts going to try and run forward, but he's going to get stripped. It's going to bounce around before it's eventually recovered by Mekhi Becton. Because Hurts was past the line of scrimmage, it's not a strip sack, and Becton going to take this one 35 yards into Rams territory. That'll help Philadelphia a lot. Hurts going to play action and throw for A.J. Brown over the middle for the touchdown here to make it 27-7 on their third connection for a touchdown today. Fourth quarter, Stafford going to try and throw to his left for Cooper Kupp. Kupp going to get into Philadelphia territory, and this was on 4th down as well. A 44-yard 4th down conversion gives the Rams some good field position and potentially some life in their game. Stafford going to throw for Kupp yet again. Unfortunately, Darius Slay will take away whatever life they had left for this interception. Very next play after that, Hurts going Gonna play action, look and throw for A.J. Brown over the middle. Brown gonna get this one short of Rams territory, but still a 40-yard pass. It's a 40-yard pass. We will take those. Eagles would keep going down the field, and Hurts going to take it in himself for the touchdown run to make it 34-7. Rams just playing for pride at this point. A throw for Cooper Kupp is in the end zone for a touchdown to make it 34-14. Next Eagles possession, Hurts dropping back, tries to run forward, going to get taken down by a bunch of Rams players. Quentin Lake, though, going to get credited with the sack, but Jake Elliott will kick a 42-yard field goal to make it 37-14. Eagles with a big lead. On this next fourth down with less than a minute to go, Stafford going to hand it off to Kyren Williams, and this time he will get the first down. A 7-yarder when they needed 6. And a couple plays after that, Stafford going to try something big here. A throw for Demarcus Robinson, and Robinson going to get this one into Eagles territory, but he's going to fumble the ball. Reed Blankenship going to pick it up, and he's going to take it back the other way 18 yards. That'll do it. Philadelphia wins this one 37-14. They improved to 6-4, and next week they've got a real tough opponent in Baltimore to take on the Ravens. Meanwhile, the Rams dropping to 4-6, and next week they got to take on another team that's going to be pretty tough for them, the New Orleans Saints. That just leaves one last NFC East team to cover, the New York Giants, who are playing host to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who got Mike Evans back from injury this week. First quarter, Bucky Irving going to take this one, and he's going to get hurt on the 12-yard kick return, so that means Sean Tucker is going to come in to replace him at that position. The Buccaneers, unfortunately, will turn this ball over almost immediately as a throw for Mike Evans is going to get intercepted by a Dory Jackson, who takes it back the other way. A 15-yard interception. On the very next play, Jones going to try and throw for Wan'Dale Robinson. Unfortunately, he throws an interception to Jordan Whitehead, so that's going to be a touchback. Gives Tampa Bay something good here. A throw for Mike Evans is going to be pretty good. He's going to fumble the ball before it goes into the hands of Rachaad White. Unfortunately, Tampa Bay would be forced to punt later on in the drive. Next Giants possession. Jones going to try and run forward here, but Levante David there with the 2-yard sack. Very next play, Jones dropping back, going to play action and roll to his left. Going to throw this one for Malik Neighbors, but he throws it across his body, and a leaping grab by Jordan Whitehead is an interception. That gets good field position for Tampa Bay. Mayfield dropping back. He tries to run forward, but he's going to get sacked by Bobby Akirike and forces him to fumble. Fortunately for Tampa Bay, Cody Mock gets the fumble recovery. Chase McLaughlin goes for the 40-yard field goal to get some points on the board. It's 3-0 Tampa Bay. First play of the ensuing drive. Direct snap right to Devin Singletary, and he's going to fumble the ball, but that's going to be a fumble out of bounds. They keep driving down the field. Graham Gano going to kick this 48-yard field goal. Ties this game up at 3. Second quarter. Giants possession. It's a fourth down. They're going to go for it. Jones, play action roll to his left. He's going to throw for Darius Slayton on this one. Slayton with the 45-yard fourth down conversion gets him into real good field position. He'll just give it to Devin Singletary here, and he'll score the touchdown directly to make it 10-3 Giants. Next Tampa Bay possession. Mayfield going to hand this one off to Rachaad White, and he's going to fumble the ball, and it's going to bounce around before it bounces out of bounds, fortunately for them. But Tampa Bay would be forced to punt. Next Giants possession, Jones going to play action roll to his left, but he's going to get taken out by Zion McCollum as the defense sniffs that one out. A 12-yard sack would force the Giants to punt. Then a throw over the middle for Jalen McMillan is going to be a fumble recovery. It's going to get grabbed by Bobby Akirike of the Giants, who's taking it back the other way 18 yards. That'll set up good field position for the Giants that they will not capitalize on. On the next Buccaneers possession, Brian Burns gets the Baker Mayfield for the loss of 9. They keep going. Chase McLaughlin tries for some points at the end of the quarter. 10-6 New York. Third quarter, Jones tries to move forward. He's going to get this one off to his right for Malik Neighbors, who's wide open here. Malik Neighbors, can he? Could he? Will he? He will not, but it's an 82-yard catch. Very next play, though, Jones going to hand this one off to Devin Singletary, who runs back towards the near side for the touchdown. Make it 17-6 New York. Next possession for the Buccaneers, a throw for Cade Otton right here is going to get it into New York territory, a 42-yard pass. That'll help to set up a couple plays later. Mayfield in shotgun formation, just going to throw this for Chris Godwin to his right. Godwin's got the touchdown here. Make it 17-13 now. The Giants still have the lead. Jones going to drop back. Then he's going to try and throw this one for Darius Slayton. Slayton going to take this one all the way into Tampa Bay territory, and he's going to get taken down at about the 30. That is a 44-yard pass. Very next play, though, Jones going to get the defense sniffing him out yet again. Jordan Whitehead with the 10-yard sack. So they got to go with the Graham Gano 53-yard field goal here to make it 20-13 after it doinks off the right upright. Next Buccaneers possession, though, Mayfield in shotgun formation, going to try and run forward, but Dexter Lawrence there to take him back 9 yards. So they got to go with Chase McLaughlin for the 39-yard field goal. That one goes through, 20-16. Giants still have the lead. Next Giants possession, Jones going to throw this one for Malik Neighbors yet again. Neighbors has to dive for it, gets back up still, gets into Tampa Bay territory on the 50-yard pass. Fourth quarter, Graham Gano going to kick this one from 25 yards out to make it 23-16. Next Buccaneers possession starts with the kick return, and Sean Tucker going to fumble the ball. It's going to bounce around a whole bunch. Who's going to grab it? It's going to be the Buccaneers. Cade Otton with the fumble recovery. A couple plays later, Mayfield going to throw to his right for Jalen McMillan. That was on fourth down, so it's a turnover on downs following the incompletion. Daniel Jones tries to throw for Bellinger. Unfortunately, not able to connect with him. He instead connects with Antoine Winfield Jr. for a touchback, but Bobby Okereke will get to Baker Mayfield for the loss of 8. Fourth down. Buccaneers need something, anything. Throw over the middle for Jalen McMillan. He can't come up with it. Bounces off of his arms. That's a turnover on downs. Very next play. Jones, play action, rolling to his left. He's got to look for somebody. Throws over the middle for Malik Neighbors. And Neighbors going to take this one into the end zone for the touchdown to make it 30-16. Tampa Bay, though, still has a potential chance here, but not if Dexter Lawrence takes back Baker Mayfield for a loss of 8. They need something here. Mayfield going to try and run forward. Kayvon Thibodeau, though, going to get to him with the sack. So fourth and very long here. Mayfield in shotgun formation in his own end zone. Throws over the middle for Jalen McMillan, but that's an interception by Tyler Nubbin. So this one is pretty much over, right? Jones going to play action, roll to his left. Throw for Malik Neighbors is picked off by Jordan Whitehead for a touchback. Okay, Tampa, you might have a chance here with maybe a miracle play. Oh, they throw for Andrew Phillips here. That was meant for Mike Evans, but he fumbles the ball. Rashad White gonna pick it back up and take it back the other way, but it does not matter. The New York Giants come away with the victory here, 30-16. They improved to 2-8, and next week they head down to Dallas for our second of 2 games of the week. We'll talk about the other one later. Meanwhile, the Buccaneers, they dropped to 1-9 and are on the verge of being eliminated next week. They just need to beat Carolina to try and keep their hopes alive. Maybe hope for a miracle or two. Well, the Vikings are also trying to stave off elimination, but they've got a very difficult opponent in the form of the Bears to take on. First quarter, C.J. Ham going to take this one 34 yards on the kick return. That might help the Vikings with some good field position. A couple plays after that, Darnold going to wait patiently. A throw to his left for Justin Jefferson with the leaping grab here. He is an amazing athlete, isn't he? A 48-yard pass to him. Gets him down into good field position. Very next play, Darnold gonna play action, roll to his right, looking and throwing. He's gonna get this one off of Jordan Addison in the corner of the end zone for the touchdown to make it 7-0 Vikings. First play of the Bears' first possession. Williams gonna get sacked by Ivan Pace Jr. for the loss of 8. Very next play, though, Williams in shotgun formation, looks and throws for Keenan Allen to his left. Allen gonna get this one into Vikings territory. A 59-yard pass to him. Get some good field position for Chicago. That'll help to set them up into a DeAndre Swift carry. A 20-yard run from him makes it a tie game at 7. Next Vikings possession. Darnold in shotgun formation. He's into Chicago territory already. Throws for Justin Jefferson. Dives in the end zone for the touchdown. Make it 14-7 Vikes. Next Bears possession. Williams going to toss this one to DeAndre Swift, running along the far side. He's going to fumble the ball, but he fumbles it safely out of bounds. And that'll help to set up Caleb Williams doing this amazing play. Play action, roll to the right, throw for DJ Moore, who they got him and they got Caleb Williams thanks to the Panthers. He gets a touchdown to tie this game up at 14. On the kickoff following that, C.J. Ham going to be hurt on the 16-yard return. So that means Ty Chandler going to have to come in to replace him on kick returns. We go now to the second quarter, first play of the second quarter, actually. Darnold going to hand this one off to Aaron Jones. He's going to fumble the ball. It's going to get picked up by Tremaine Edmonds, who's going to make it a 24-yard scoop and score to make it 21-14 Chicago. Next Vikings possession after that, Darnold with the play action rolling to his right. Jaquan Brisker, though, going to be there to take him down. The entire defense sniffed him out for the loss of 11. They'd be forced to punt, and on Chicago's next possession, Williams going to run with it himself. You can't forget that he can run. Unfortunately, that's all the running he's going to be doing for today, as Caleb Williams injured on the 15-yarder. So that means they got to go with their backup, Tyson Bagent, who's going to be coming in. A couple plays later, Bagent, let's see what you can do. Tyson going to wait and throw this one for Rome Odunze over the middle. Odunze going to fumble the ball, and it's going to bounce around before it gets picked up by the Vikings, Stephon Gilmore, who takes it back 11 yards. On next possession for Minnesota, in shotgun formation, Darnold looking, running out of time, throw over the middle for Johnny Munt is intercepted by Jaquan Brisker, yet again here to make a big play for the defense. Very next play, though, Bagent going to get taken down by Ivan Pace Jr. as they broke through on a 9-yard sack. Very next play after that, Bagent going to get taken down by Ivan Pace Jr. yet again for another loss of 9. They'd be forced to punt. Next Minnesota possession, Darnold going to try and run forward, running into a lineman before he's taken down by Kyler Gordon for the loss of 4. So, with less than a minute to go, Darnold going to try and do something before the end of the half. Unfortunately, Kyler Gordon going to intercept this and take it back the other way. That would be all they do for the first half. Second half, Darnold in shotgun formation. Going to try and run forward here, but he's going to get taken out by Kyler Gordon for a 4-yard sack. Very next play, though, Darnold not even going to have a chance to get this one off as Kyler Gordon gets another sack on him for a loss of 10. They'd be forced to punt. Chicago's next possession, Bagent going to throw to his left for Keenan Allen in the corner of the end zone for a touchdown. 27-14 Chicago, because unfortunately the kick by Cairo Santos is blocked. On Minnesota's next possession, Darnold in shotgun. Gotta look for somebody. Gonna throw for Aaron Jones, who leaps up to grab this one. And he is gonna take this one into the end zone for a touchdown. A 44-yarder makes it 27-21. Next Bears possession, Bagent, play action. Rolling to his right. Gonna throw for DJ Moore. Got this one in Minnesota territory. He's got 2 men to beat. Unfortunately, not going to beat either one of them, but that is still a 57-yard pass. Very next play, though, Bagent going to get taken down. Strip sacked by Ivan Pace Jr. Fumbles the ball. Blake Cashman picks it up for Minnesota. That's how the third quarter is going to end. Cashman getting into Chicago territory. Fourth quarter, Sam Darnold in shotgun formation. Vikings only down by 6. Throw for Aaron Jones is picked off by Tyreek Stevenson, who takes back 6 yards. That gets good field position for Chicago at the very least. Bagent going to try and run forward here, but he is going to get taken down by Shaq Griffin for the loss of 1. They'd be forced to punt on the Vikings' next possession. Darnold gotta try and take a lead here. Throws for Jordan Addison. Unfortunately, he gets picked off by Jaquan Brisker, who's done some pretty good work today for Chicago's defense, taking it back 23 yards, fighting for those extra few yards that he can get. That'll help to set up Tyler Bagent with the play action, roll to his right, avoids a potential tack by Grenard, and the throw for Moore. He's in for the touchdown, 34-21. Minnesota still has a chance, but they gotta play some mistake-free football. Throw for Johnny Munt might help them to get there, and he's gonna run along the near sideline, and unfortunately he's not gonna be doing any more helping for them for the rest of the game. A 15-yard reception ends in injury. TJ Hawkinson gonna have to come in to replace him. So the Vikings got to get a score, and they got to get it quick, but Tremaine Edmonds going to sack Darnold, sending him back 10 yards, but they keep going down the field. Unfortunately, they don't have much time. Aaron Jones going to get handed the ball and run it in for the touchdown, 34-28. If they can recover the onside kick, they give it right to Tyler Bagent, who was there with some good hands. Bears come away with the 34-28 victory. They improve to 6-4, and next week they take on the Lions in our first of our Thanksgiving games, which will be our Week 13 games of the week. Meanwhile, the Vikings dropping to 1-9, and next week they take on the Arizona Cardinals. Well, I mentioned the Panthers and what they gave to Chicago. Well, Panthers were taking on a very tough opponent in the form of the Kansas City Chiefs this week. First quarter, Bryce Young going to try and run forward, but he's going to get taken down by Michael Dana for the loss of 5. They'd be forced to punt. Kansas City's first possession, toss for Isaiah Pacheco. He's going to run it in from 9 yards out. Touchdown, Chiefs, make it 7-0. Next Panthers possession, a toss for Miles Sanders is only going to get 11 yards, and unfortunately, he's going to be injured on that run. So that means Raheem Blackshear is going to come in to replace him at running back position. Very next play for the Panthers. Young going to drop back, but the defense going to break through. Nick Bolton going to get credited with the sack there for the loss of 9. A couple plays later, Young running forward. Fortunately, going to get taken down by Nick Bolton yet again for the loss of 2. They basically get another chance with this one. Bryce Young going to get taken down by Leo Chenal. But we go into the second quarter now. Still the same drive. They're into deep Kansas City territory. Throw over the middle for Adam Thielen is going to get them in for the end zone for a touchdown on a 27-yarder to tie this game up at 7, but Isaiah Pacheco punches in from 2 yards out to make it 14-7 Chiefs. Next, Panthers possession. They're into Kansas City territory. Young tries to run forward, but he's taken down in Carolina territory by Leo Chenal. That forces Carolina to punt. Next, Chiefs possession. Mahomes tries to run forward, but he's taken down by Derek Brown, sending him back 4 yards. So they go with the Harrison Butker field goal near the end of the half. 25-yarder to make it 17-7 Chiefs. Third quarter, Mahomes in shotgun formation. Gonna look for somebody open. Mahomes has been rather quiet today. Gonna throw for Marquise Hollywood Brown. Brown gonna get him into Carolina territory, and he's still going. A 42-yard pass gets a good field position for the Chiefs. Mahomes in shotgun formation tries to run forward here. Gonna run to a lineman. He's gonna get strip sacked by Josie Jewell, and it's picked up by Mike Jackson, who's taking it back the other way. A 14-yard fumble recovery gets good field position for Carolina. Young going to hand this one off to Raheem Blackshear, who's also going to be injured now on that 2-yard run. So that means Jonathan Brooks going to replace him at running back, whereas the rookie Xavier Legette from South Carolina going to come in at wide receiver and kick returner. A couple plays into the drive. Young going to throw this one an interception for Brian Cook. That was meant for Jonathan Brooks. Very next play, Mahomes tossed this for Isaiah Pacheco. Pacheco just going to run this one in, break a tackle, break a second one. He's getting for the touchdown. 25-yarder makes it 24-7. Next, Panthers possession. Xavier Legette going to run along the near side. He's going to fumble the ball, but he fumbles it out of bounds. Good for him. Keep driving down the field. Young looking, trying to run forward here, but he's going to get taken down by Nick Bolton for the loss of 1. So they got to go with an Eddie Pinheiro 43-yard field goal. It goes in 24-10. Chiefs still have the lead, though. First play of the ensuing drive. Mahomes going to try and run forward. Derek Brown there to take him back to Kansas City territory, so they'd be forced to punt. Nice job by the Carolina defense. Young trying to run forward here. Going to get this one off for Johnson. And he is wide open here. Deontay Johnson going to get into the red zone in Kansas City territory, a 59-yarder. Keep driving down the field a little more. Young going to try and throw this one off for Adam Thielen, and he's going to fumble the ball. It's going to bounce around before it's eventually picked up by Brian Cook of the Chiefs. A couple plays after that, Mahomes dropping back. Going to try and run forward, but Jadeveon Clowney takes him down for the loss. Couple plays after that, Mahomes going to get taken out by Josie Jewell for his second sack of the day. Forces the Chiefs to punt. Carolina still has a chance here. Young looking for an open man. Going to throw to his left for Jonathan Mingo, who's going to take this one 51 yards into Kansas City territory before he's tripped up by his ankles. They keep on going. Young going to drop back, looking for an open man here. Throws for Adam Thielen into the end zone for a touchdown to make it 24-17. They got to go for the onside kick. Onside kick will bounce around before it goes into Marquise Brown's hands. That just means they got to kick a 58-yard field goal to make sure this game's put away. Kansas City wins 27-17. They improve to 6-4 next week. They take on the Raiders on Black Friday. Meanwhile, Carolina dropping to 4-6, and they got to take on the Buccaneers. Hopefully for them, they can get something out of that. Well, while Buffalo and the New York Jets were on a bye week this week, the other two AFC East teams were playing each other this week. Patriots in Miami to take on the Dolphins. Antonio Gibson making his return for New England. first quarter. Brissett going to hand this one off to Gibson, and he's going to run it up the middle, but he's going to fumble the ball. Jalen Ramsey is going to get it for a 5-yard return. A couple plays after that, Devon Achane going to get taken down and injured on this loss of 5. So that means Jalen Wright going to have to come in to replace him at running back position for running back 2. A couple plays later, Tua going to try and run forward, but he's going to get taken down by Jawan Bentley for a loss of 9. So they got to go with the Jason Sanders 35-yard field goal. Nearly blocked, but it gets through. 3-0. Dolphins strike first. On the kickoff return following that, Marcus Jones going to take this one 33 yards. Gets good field position for New England. A couple plays after that, a toss for Antonio Gibson running along the near sideline. This one going to go a little bit better. He will fumble it again, but he'll fumble it out of bounds. Thank goodness for the Patriots there. A couple plays after that, Brissett in shotgun formation. Going to try and run forward as he's going to get taken down at midfield by Jordan Brooks for the loss of 7. But they keep going down the field. Brissett going to toss this one for Antonio Gibson yet again. This time, running along the far sideline, he's going to get to the 10, and unfortunately, he is going to be injured yet again. He just came off of injury. That's unfortunate. So that means JaMychal Hasty going to have to come in at the running back position for New England. A couple plays after that, Brissett dropping back. Defense nearly gets to him, but he gets it off in time for Jalen Polk, the rookie, to get a touchdown here. Make it 7-3 Patriots. Near the end of the first quarter, Tua going to try and run this one forward. He's going to get the throw off for Jalen Waddle, who's already in New England territory. He has to dive for it, but the defense catches up to him very quickly. A 50-yard pass. We go to the second quarter. Jason Sanders kicks a 20-yard field goal to make it 7-6. Next Patriots possession. Brissett in shotgun formation, looking for an open man. Tries to run forward. Zach Sealer there to take him down for a loss of 6. So they got to go with the Joey Slye 56-yard field goal, and that kick's going wide left, so it's still a 1-point lead for New England. Dolphins drive down the field, and Tua, looking for somebody, tries to run forward, but he's going to get taken down by Jawan Bentley. So that means they got to go with the Jason Sanders field goal yet again, a 26-yarder. Makes it 9-7 Dolphins. On the next possession for the Patriots, Brissett dropping back, looking for somebody. Going to throw this one for Jalen Polk yet again. And Polk, wide open. He's in for the end zone. Touchdown Pats to make it 14-9. Next Dolphins possession, Devon Gottschall quickly gets to Tua for a loss of 6. Very next play, Tua dropping back, looking for somebody. He's got plenty of different targets. Going to throw for Jalen Waddle, who's already into New England territory. A 64-yarder. Not going to score with it. Gets good field position. Jason Sanders is going to kick the 22-yard field goal for some points at halftime to make it 14-12. Third quarter. Dolphins with the ball. Tua in shotgun formation. Tries to run forward, but he's going to get taken down. Jawan Bentley there for his 3rd sack of the day for the loss of 3. They go for the Jason Sanders 58-yard field goal for some kind of points. It's 15-14 Dolphins. But on the Patriots' next possession, Brissett dropping back. Going to try and run forward. Getting wrapped up, trying to break through, but Zach Sealer says no. Takes him back 6 yards. But that's all right to keep going down the field. Brissett in shotgun formation, looking for an open Tyquan Thornton for the touchdown here. 21-15 New England. Next Dolphins possession, Tua looks and throws for Tyreek Hill, who is a very fast man. He is gone. He is going to go all the way into the red zone. He's finally caught up to and taken down at about the 15, and just for Jalen Wright to get a 2-yard touchdown run for Miami to finally score a touchdown. It's 22-21. But JaMychal Hasty gets a 1-yard punch in on the Patriots next drive in the fourth quarter, make it 28-22. So the Dolphins need some kind of help. Tua Tagovailoa going to get sacked by Dietrich Wise for a loss of 6. They got to get something off, though. Tua going to throw for Jalen Wright, but unfortunately it's going to go into the hands of Christian Gonzalez, who gets taken down almost immediately, but that's still a pick for New England. Brissett dropping back. Plenty of time. Going to try and run forward. Get this one off for the rookie Polk, who dives for the touchdown here. Make it 35-22. Next Dolphins possession. They can still come back and win this. A throw for Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill. Look at this man run. He's going to get it into about the 12 for a 72-yarder. Dolphins keep driving down the field. Tua going to try and run forward with it himself, and he will score with a 4-yard touchdown run. Makes it 35-28 because the extra point gets blocked by the Pats. So they got to get this onside kick. Sanders with the onside kick bouncing around, but it goes into Jalen Polk's hands. and he's taking it back the other way. But the Patriots would be forced to punt. Miami, last gasp. Dietrich Wise is going to get the 8-yard sack. Very next play, the Patriots were able to come back on a last-minute drive in the last time they played each other earlier this season. That throw for Tyreek Hill, but he gets caught up too almost immediately. He had to dive for that. Very next play, Tua gonna hand this one off to Wright, who's not gonna get too far. Second down. Tua dropping back yet again, running out of time, gonna get wrapped up. Can he break through? He's gonna get it off in time for Hill. Hill gonna get taken down to about the 31. They got time for one play. Tua, you gotta get this one off. Looks for his best potential weapon. Jalen Waddle not able to come up with it. The Patriots come away with the victory by 7 points, 35-28. They take on the Colts next week. After that heart pounder, that's gonna be quite an interesting game. Can they beat the Colts, who are on a skid? Meanwhile, Miami dropping to 5-5. So they're at 500, and they got to take on a Packers team hungry to try and keep pace in the NFC North. But our next focus is going to be on the AFC North as we head to Cleveland for our game of the week. The Pittsburgh Steelers taking on the Cleveland Browns. First quarter, the first play, which is a kick return, Pierre Strong Jr. going to be injured on that 18-yard return. So Deontay Foreman going to come in to replace him at that position. Foreman, who's also doing punt returns as well thanks to that injury. The Browns would be forced to punt on their first possession. On the first possession for Pittsburgh, Russell Wilson going to throw for George Pickens, who is deep into Cleveland territory. Leaping grab. Can he? Could he? Will he? He will. 75-yard touchdown to make it 7-0 Pittsburgh. Browns would punt on their next drive. And on the next Steelers possession, a throw for Jalen Warren is intercepted by Denzel Ward. So Cleveland going to get the ball back. They keep driving down the field. Watson going to play action, roll to his left. He's going to look and throw for Jerry Jeudy in the corner of the end zone for the touchdown. Ties this game up at 7. Second quarter after the Steelers punted. Cleveland's got the ball. Watson going to hand this one off to Jerome Ford. Fumble, but it gets recovered. Couldn't quite tell who it was. But Dustin Hopkins going to kick the 55-yard field goal to make it 10-7 Cleveland. First play of the ensuing drive for Pittsburgh. Wilson going to get wrapped up after the play action. It's going to get taken down by Jordan Hicks for the loss of 10. They would be forced to punt. Cleveland's next possession. Watson going to play action and roll to his left. Going to look for somebody open, throwing for Amari Cooper, who's at the middle of the field. Keeps on going, but he's going to fumble the ball, and it's going to be picked up by Deshaun Elliott, who's taking it back the other way. That is a 21-yard recovery. Boswell going to kick this 35-yard field goal to get this game tied up with less than 2 minutes to go before halftime. Watson going to try something, though. Play action, roll to his left. He's going to get taken down by Joey Porter Jr., so that's how it will be until halftime. Third quarter, Wilson dropping back. Going to get taken down by Myles Garrett for the loss of 7. But a couple plays after that, Wilson looking, running forward. Going to try and take it himself. It looked like he's going to fumble the ball. That's a strip sack by Greg Newsome, picked up by Jordan Hicks. That gets some good field position for the Browns. And Watson going to hand this one off to Jerome Ford for the touchdown, a punch in to make it 17-10. Steelers next possession. Harris going to get the handoff. He's going to fumble the ball. It's going to bounce around before it goes into the hands of, it looks like, Greg Newsome the second yet again. Very next play, though, Watson going to play action, roll to his left. He's taken down by Joey Porter Jr. for the loss of 12. Very next play after that, Watson in shotgun formation. Going to try and run forward, but Cameron Hayward there to take him back 6 yards. They'd be forced to punt. Pittsburgh would drive down the field. Chris Boswell kicks a 46-yard field goal to make it 17-13. Fourth quarter, Cleveland on a third down situation. Watson going to play action, roll to his left yet again. Joey Porter Jr. there to take him back 11 yards. They're forced to punt. Pittsburgh has a chance to take the lead now as they're in Cleveland territory. Wilson tries to run forward, but he's going to get wrapped up before Jordan Hicks takes him down yet again for a loss of 4. But they keep on going. Wilson going to get fumbled, strip sacked actually by Myles Garrett. Zadarius Smith going to pick it up. He's taking it back the other way. Nearly makes it a scoop and score, but it is a 33-yard fumble recovery. A couple plays after that, Watson with the play action, roll to his left yet again. Minkah Fitzpatrick there to sniff him down and take him down for a loss of 10. So they got to go with the Dustin Hopkins 48-yard field goal. Doinks off the left upright. It's 20-13. Pittsburgh needs a touchdown and an extra point to tie. Play action by Wilson. Looking, waiting, throwing for George Pickens deep. And he's going to leap and grab this one. No one even close to him for a tie game here. 56-yard touchdown. First play of the ensuing drive. Watson in shotgun formation. Looking and throwing for Amari Cooper. It's picked off by Cameron Hayward. So now Pittsburgh can take the win here. Wilson going to play action. Looking for an open man. Throws over the middle for Pat Freiermuth. Incomplete. Second down. Wilson going to toss this one for Jaylen Warren, but he's going to get a loss of about 5 or 6 on that one. Wilson going to on third down. Play action. Looking and throwing for Pat Freiermuth. He's over the middle. He's got this one. Breaking a tackle. Still on his feet. Gets close to the red zone, but gets to at least 22. So, very next play. Wilson. Play action. Looking for somebody open. Throw for George Pickens in the end zone. Can't quite get it to him. So, very next play after that, it's a 2nd and 10. Wilson going to try and throw this one for Van Jefferson. Deflected off of a Cleveland defender. Third down. Can Pittsburgh try to get something here? They're going to try and set up for a Chris Boswell field goal. Warren going to get handed the ball. This is for all the marbles. Boswell, kick on the way, and it is off the upright. It's good. The Pittsburgh Steelers come away with a very close victory, 23-20. They improved to 6-4, and next week they've got the game of their lives, possibly the game of their season, as they got to head to Cincinnati to take on the Bengals. Cleveland, meanwhile, dropping to 7-3, and next week they have to take on Denver. Speaking of Denver, the Broncos were in Vegas today to take on the Raiders. Jaleel McLaughlin making his return for the Broncos. First quarter, Bo Nix gonna play action, looking for somebody open. Throws for the man he faked the handoff to, Jaleel McLaughlin, who's got the touchdown here, a 32-yarder, make it 7-0 Broncos on the ensuing kickoff. Tyreek McAllister gonna get taken down, and he is injured on a 20-yard kick return. That means Alexander Madison going to have to come in for him at both return positions. A couple plays later, Gardner Minshew going to hand this one off to Zamir White. He's going to run along the far sideline, going to keep on going, but he's going to fumble the ball. He's going to get picked up by Riley Moss. That gets good field position for Denver as they start in Vegas territory. Nix dropping back, looking for an open man. He's going to throw for Marvin Mims Jr. in the end zone for the touchdown, make it 14-0. Next Raiders possession, Minshew dropping back. Plenty of time right now. Going to throw for Jacoby Myers to his left. Myers with the leaping grab here gets into Denver territory. A 57-yard catch for him. Very next play, Minshew in shotgun formation. Unfortunately, the defense does not care. He's going to get taken down. Zach Allen going to get credited with the 5-yard sack. Very next play, on a 2nd and long, Minshew going to drop back yet again, but the defense there to intercept him this time, as P.J. Locke going to intercept the pass meant for Brock Bowers. Very next play, toss for Jaleel McLaughlin. He's going to run along the far sideline before he's going to fumble it, but he makes them fumble it out of bounds. Denver unable to capitalize on it. They'd be forced to punt. So on the Raiders' next possession, Minshew in shotgun formation tries to run forward. Going to get taken down by Alex Singleton for the loss of 3. They keep going. Daniel Carlson with the 57-yard field goal at least gives the Raiders some points. It's 14-3. Second quarter on a punt return. Alexander Madison going to get injured here on an 8-yard return. That is very unfortunate for them. They kind of needed him there. So that means Amir Abdullah going to come in at the kick and punt return positions. Keep driving down the field. Minshew in shotgun formation. Going to get this one off in time for Devontae Adams. Unfortunately, Patrick Surtain there to intercept it. And he's going to take it back the other way, 22 yards. That will help to set up this Will Lutz 55-yard field goal that's nearly blocked, but gets through. 17-3 Broncos. Raiders would punt on their next possession, so when the Broncos next touch the ball, hand off to Jaleel McLaughlin. He's going to run along the far sideline. He's still on his feet. McLaughlin going to take this one 32 yards. That's pretty good for them. A couple plays later, Nick's going to try and get this one off, but Malcolm Kuntz there to swarm in with the rest of the defense for the loss of 9. Very next play, though, Nick's dropping back, going to look for Cortland Sutton, who's going to run along the far sideline. And he is going to take this one pretty deep, nearly gets in, stopped just 2 yards short. That's still a 41-yarder. Very next play, McLaughlin going to punch it in from 2 yards out to make it 24-3. Ensuing kickoff, Amir Abdullah. He is going to take this one, zig and zag, cuts back, cuts forward, goes all the way up to about the 43. Unfortunately, they will not score before halftime. Third quarter, Minshew going to get sacked by DJ Jones for a loss of 6. So they got a punt. Very next play, Marvin Mims going to only take this one about 8 yards, and now he is going to be injured. So that means the Broncos going to have to rely on Troy Franklin at the wide receiver 1 position, while Blake Watson will come in to return. The Broncos keep on going. A couple plays later, Nick's going to look, run forward, and get taken down by Max Crosby for a loss of 7. They'd be forced to punt. Raiders next possession. Minshew tries to run forward, running into alignment, gonna take it himself this time. And Minshew, look at this man run. I haven't seen him run like that since Jacksonville. Gonna get a 36-yard run there. Keep driving down the field. Minshew dropping back, looking for somebody open, running forward into alignment. Gonna get strip sacked there by Cody Barton, and it's picked up by John Franklin. Franklin still on his feet, a 42-yard fumble recovery. Very next play, though, you know we haven't called today? Divine Diablo. He was a player of the week last time these two played, and he gets a sack on Knicks for a loss of 8. So Will Lutz going to kick the 47-yard field goal to make it 27-3. Next Raiders possession. Minshew in shotgun tries to run forward, but he's going to get strip sacked by Zach Allen, and he's going to fumble it out of bounds. Very next play, Minshew dropping back, going to get swarmed by the defense. Cody Barton there for his 2nd sack of the day. Very next play after that, Minshew dropping back yet again, tries to run forward, but John Franklin there to get him for a loss of 7. That's how the third quarter would end. Very next play to start the fourth quarter, it's 4th and 32. Minshew dropping back, tries to run forward, gets wrapped up before John Franklin sends it back 7 yards. So that's a turnover on downs, a loss of 39 on that set of downs. A couple plays into the Broncos' next drive. A throw for Troy Franklin is in for the touchdown, make it 34-3. Raiders' next possession, Minshew dropping back, going to get taken down by Alex Singleton now for the loss of 9. So 4th down. Minshew going to hand this one off for Zamir White. He's going to get the 1st down and more as he gets an 8-yard run to convert that 4th down. A couple plays after, Minshew going to get sacked by Alex Singleton for his 3rd sack of the day for a loss of 9. Another 4th down situation for the Raiders. Minshew going to look and throw for Devontae Adams, and that's an interception by Riley Moss, who takes it back 4 yards. Very next play, Knicks dropping back, all kinds of time, plenty of time to throw for Courtland Sutton, who leaps up to grab this one, and he is going to take this one into the red zone for the Broncos. That is a 53-yarder. Very next play, though, Divine Diablo and the rest of the defense breaks through for the sack for a loss of 10. Very next play after that, Knicks gonna play action, running out of time, gonna throw it over the middle for Courtland Sutton, and he is in for the touchdown here. Make it 41-3. Next Raiders possession, Minshew in shotgun formation. Gonna try and throw this for Jacoby Myers. He's got this one pretty easily. Myers still on his feet. A 48-yard catch here gets him into Denver territory. But it's yet another 4th down situation. 4th and very short. Minshew going to get sacked by John Franklin, though, for a loss of 7 with a turnover on downs. Broncos would punt, so the Raiders going to try for one last chance to score some points. Minshew in shotgun. Going to throw this one for Devontae Adams. Adams has to dive for it, but he does get back up for a 44-yard catch here. A couple plays after that, Minshew gonna toss this one for Zamir White. Last play of the game. White gonna run along the far sideline, avoids the tackles, and he's in for the touchdown on 24-yarder. But the Broncos still come away with the victory, 41-10. They improved to 3-8, and next week they got to take on the Browns. Potential revenge game for Jerry Jeudy there. Meanwhile, the Raiders dropped to 2-8, and next week they got to head to Kansas City to take on their hated rival in the form of the Chiefs. And that just leaves one last AFC West team to cover, the Chargers, who are playing host to the Ravens this week. First quarter, Darius Davis going to take this one 32 yards. That starts out good field position for the Chargers. That'll help to set up Justin Herbert here. A throw for Josh Palmer. Unfortunately, it gets picked off by Marcus Williams, who takes it back the other way on a 12-yard interception. Ravens would drive down the field some more, and Lamar going to look and throw here for the one and only Rashad Bateman. Throw to his right. He's in the end zone here for the touchdown. Make it 7-0. Baltimore strikes first. Next Chargers possession. Herbert going to look and throw for a good weapon for himself. DJ Chark, who's already into Ravens territory, at the very least close to it by the time he gets that ball. A 48-yarder. allows the Chargers to keep driving down the field. And Herbert going to try and run forward here, but Michael Pierce going to take him back 7 yards. So, a couple plays after that, Herbert going to throw for J.K. Dobbins. He's got the touchdown here. Ties this game up at 7. Next Ravens possession, though, Lamar going to hand this one off to Justice Hill, who's going to run this one around up the middle, zigging and zagging, coming back towards the near side before he goes back towards the center. He's going to fumble the ball, but it's picked up by Mark Andrews, who's going to take it another 30 yards into Chargers territory. Second quarter, Justin Tucker going to kick this 40-yard field goal to put the Ravens up 10-7. On the ensuing kickoff return, Darius Davis going to take this one up to about the 20. Going to keep on going to the 26. He's going to fumble the ball, though. He's going to get picked up by Marlon Humphrey. That gets insanely amazing field position for the Ravens. And a couple plays later, Lamar, just run it in yourself for the touchdown there. A 3-yard run makes this 17-7. Chargers would punt on their next possession, so Lamar going to look and throw for Zay Flowers, and he is gone for the touchdown here and make it 24-7. Ravens keep on extending the lead. Herbert in shotgun formation tries to run forward, but Nnamdi Madubuike going to get credited with the sack there, so the Chargers will be forced to punt. Ravens going to try something before halftime. Lamar, though, going to get wrapped up before he's eventually taken down by Morgan Fox for the 2-yard sack. We go to the third quarter now. Lamar into Chargers territory, looking and throwing for Rashad Bateman. He's got this one for the touchdown. 35-yarder makes it 31-7 Ravens. The Chargers would drive down the field. Cameron Dicker gets a 50-yard field goal here to make it 31-10. But on the Ravens' next possession, Lamar gonna look, tries to run forward. Joey Bosa there to take him down for a sack. That'll help to set up Justin Tucker 40-yard field goal, make it 34-10. Next Chargers possession, Herbert gonna try something, has to try something, tries to run forward here, but he's gonna get taken down by Roquan Smith for the loss of 2. Very next play, which is in the fourth quarter, Herbert dropping back, taken down by Roquan Smith for a loss of 9. Very next play after that, Herbert dropping back even more, gotta get this one off, throws for J.K. Dobbins and intercepted by Roquan Smith this time, and he takes it back for Baltimore. They'd be forced to punt, but Herbert going to get taken down by Nnamdi Madubuike here yet again. So, fourth down situation for the Bolts. Herbert looking and throwing over the middle for J.K. Dobbins. They need 17. He's only going to get 14, so it's a turnover on downs. Ravens just going to give this one to Justice Hill for the touchdown to make it 41-10. Chargers really just playing for pride here in garbage time. Gonna throw for Josh Palmer. Palmer gonna get into the end zone for the touchdown here to make it 41-17 off the 43-yarder. But Lamar, he's already won this game. He's gonna take it a little bit easy. Play action, roll to his left, throw for Zay Flowers, a 47-yard pass here. Flowers not gonna score, but gonna get relatively close. Lamar says, you know what, I'm just gonna pad my fantasy stats here. He's going to take this 1-yard punch in for a touchdown to make it 48-17. Chargers really just playing for anything at this point. Herbert looking and throwing over the middle for DJ Chark, and it's intercepted by Kyle Hamilton, who's going to take it back, breaking a couple tackles, as he's going to get this one nearly a score for himself. A 28-yard interception. On the very next play, though, Lamar going to throw this one for Mark Andrews for the touchdown. 55-17. Ravens come away with the victory. They will improve to 8-3 on the season, and next week they got to take on the Eagles. Meanwhile, the Chargers dropping to 5-5, and next week they head down to the dirty South, where they will take on the Atlanta Falcons. Now for a game people were probably looking forward to definitely when this week began. 49ers taking on the Green Bay Packers. First quarter, Jordan Love going to drop back. Defense, though, nearly gets to him. A throw from Musgrave is intercepted by Talanoa Hufanga. Very next play, Purdy going to throw immediately for Brandon Ayuk, who's in for the touchdown. Make it 7-0 San Francisco. On the kick return, Keyshawn Nixon going to run along the near sideline. Going to fumble the ball. Going to get picked up by Devondre Campbell for the recovery. Very next play, Purdy in shotgun formation decides, you know what, this time I'm going to spread it around. Throws for Deebo Samuel in the back of the end zone for the touchdown here to make it 14-0. Packers would drive down the field, and Braden Narveson kicks the 30-yarder to make it 14-3. A couple plays into the 49ers' next drive. Purdy in shotgun formation. Defense breaks through. Kenny Clark going to get credited with the sack, but they keep going down the field. Handoff to Christian McCaffrey is a 20-yard run for him. 21-3 San Francisco. Next drive, Love going to look and throw for Christian Watson, who has been his favorite weapon since he got here. Watson going to take this one into deep San Francisco territory. Nearly gets into the red zone, short by about 7 yards. But that's all right, because in the second quarter, a throw for Christian Watson is a touchdown this time to make it 21-10. 49ers would punt on their next drive, so the Packers just going to give this one to Josh Jacobs. Going to run along the near side, coming back towards the middle a little bit. He's going to fumble the ball, though, and it's going to get picked up by Jair Brown for a 7-yard recovery. They'll keep driving down the field. Christian McCaffrey, give it to him. He is nearly unstoppable. A 42-yard run by him. Could you imagine how a 49ers season would go without him? They'll help set up this very next play where McCaffrey just runs it in for 4 yards out. 28-10. San Francisco has a big lead here. Josh Jacobs, though, he's meant to be a good runner for the Packers. They were big on getting him this offseason. He's going to break a couple tackles, nearly breaks a third before he's taken down just outside the end zone. First and goal, Love going to give it to Jacobs yet again for the touchdown to make it 28-17. But the 49ers still have some time before halftime. Purdy looking and throwing for Brandon Ayuk, who's wide open and in the end zone for the touchdown here. Make it 35-17. Kick return by Keyshawn Nixon, though, to really show off what he can do. Could he potentially score a kick return touchdown? We haven't seen one here on SVGN, but no, he will not. But it is a 51-yarder. We go to the third quarter now, deep third quarter. Christian McCaffrey runs it in from 15 yards out for the touchdown to make it 42-17. On the ensuing kick return, Keyshawn Nixon running towards the near sideline. Keeps on going. Look at this man go on this kick return, a 48-yarder. That'll help to set up the Packers with some good field position. Josh Jacobs is going to take this one and run it in for the touchdown, this time 26-yarder, to make it 42-24. But it's going to be 45-24 because Jake Moody going to kick this 42-yard field goal. Fourth quarter, Packers need some help, and they need it quick. Love dropping back. Going to try and run forward. Javon Hargrave, though, there to take him down for a loss of 6. Very next play, Love dropping back yet again. Looking for an open man. He's got plenty of them. You know he's going to throw for his favorite target, Christian Watson. And look at Watson run. Going to get into San Francisco territory. Gets to the red zone on that 57-yarder. Very next play, though, Love going to try and run forward, but he's going to get taken down by Leonard Floyd for the loss of 2. It's fourth down situation here, 4th and 11. A toss for Josh Jacobs. Running along the near sideline. He's going to break a tackle. Still on his feet, but he gets the first down. That's good enough for Green Bay. Love dropping back. Going to try and run forward with it himself. He's going to get strip sacked by Devondre Campbell, and Leonard Floyd going to pick it up for San Francisco. Very next play, Purdy in shotgun formation. Going to try and run forward, but he's going to get wrapped up before he's taken down eventually by Rashawn Gary for the loss of 6. But a couple plays later, Purdy looking for an open man. Going to throw this one for George Kittle. And Kittle is not who he's going to find. It's instead going to be Eric Stokes. He takes it back 9 yards. So Green Bay still has a potential chance here. Love going to try and run forward, but he's going to get taken down eventually by Javon Hargrave for his second sack of the day for a loss of 5. They keep going, but Love going to get taken down yet again, this time by Nick Bosa for the loss of 6. 4th and long here. The Packers need to score, and they're going to throw for Jaden Reed here, and it's incomplete. And he was diving for it, too, in the end zone. So the Packers got to try to play some defense. Quay Walker going to get the sack. That would force the 49ers to punt, but they waste too much time. This one is in garbage time now, folks. Josh Jacobs trying to break every tackle he can, fighting for every yard that he can. He's going to run it 31 yards. They got to try and score something here before the end of the game. Love looking and throwing for Christian Watson over the middle, and he's got him this time for a 34-yard touchdown, but it does not matter. The 49ers come away with the 45-31 victory over the Packers. They improved to 8-2 and are a potential team to get into the Super Bowl here. Next week, though, they got a tough opponent in the form of the Buffalo Bills. Meanwhile, the Packers dropping to 6-4, and they got to take on the Miami Dolphins next week. Meanwhile, the AFC South battle is still a very close one, and both Tennessee and Houston have a chance of winning that battle. First quarter, Mason Rudolph going to hand this one off to Tony Pollard, who's going to run this one in for a 28-yard touchdown. That puts the Titans up first 7-0. Next possession belongs to the Texans. Stroud dropping back, looking for an open man, throws for Stephon Diggs, and Diggs going to take this one 54 yards into Tennessee territory. Look at this man run. He was a great acquisition for Houston from Buffalo during the offseason. Very next play, Hand off to Joe Mixon. Mixon, look at this man run. He was a great acquisition from Cincinnati during the offseason. That's a touchdown run from him, 31 yards. Ties this game up at 7. On the ensuing kickoff, though, Peter Skoronski going to recover this fumble that was off of Tyjae Spears. Very next play after that, Rudolph going to throw this one for DeAndre Hopkins, who's going to run this one pretty far, 47-yard reception from him. I hope to set up Rudolph looking and throwing for DeAndre Hopkins yet again. This time, it's going to be in for the end zone, a 32-yard touchdown to make it 14-7 Tennessee. Houston trailing right now. Stroud in shotgun formation. Nearly gets swarmed by the defense. Throw for Dalton Schultz, though, intercepted by Chidobe Awuzie, sending it back 13 yards. And on the very next play, a toss for Tyjae Spears. Spears going to run this one in for the touchdown, a 17-yarder, to make it 21-7 Tennessee. Houston down by 2 scores is not very good for them, especially given the difference in their records. Stroud going to throw this one for Stephon Diggs, and Diggs going to take this one 49 yards into Tennessee territory. That'll help to set up another connection between Stroud and Diggs. This time it'll be a touchdown connection, a 30-yard pass, makes this 21-14. On the ensuing kickoff, Tyjae Spears going to get injured on the 11-yard kick return. That is not good for them. So that means Julius Chestnut going to come in at running back number 2, while Jaquan Jackson comes in as the return man. Titans would drive down the field, and Nick Folk tries to kick a 44-yard field goal, but it's going to go wide left. So this is still a 7-point game. Next Texans possession, Stroud looks and throws for Stephon Diggs, and Diggs going to take this one almost to the red zone. That's a 41-yard pass, and it'll help set up a 25-yard touchdown pass from Stroud to Tank Dell, who's wide open, and this one nearly gets blocked, but Dell still able to grab this one to tie it up at 21. Next Titans possession, Rudolph, play action, throws for Calvin Ridley, and it's intercepted by Kalen Bullock, who's going to take it back for Houston. On the next Texans drive, which is the one following that interception, Stroud going to get taken down by Ernest Jones for the loss of 2. Very next play, Stroud dropping back even further, tries to run forward, but unfortunately Jeffrey Simmons there to take him back for the loss of 5. But to keep going down the field, Stroud tosses for Joe Mixon, who's going to run near the far sideline of this one for a touchdown. And that'll make it 28-21 following the 17-yarder. First play of the ensuing drive, Rudolph gets swarmed by Azeez Al-Shaair and the rest of the defensive line for a loss of 9. A couple plays after that, Rudolph trying to run forward, but this time he's caught, and eventually he's taken down by Foley Fatukasi. That'll force the Titans to punt. The Texans would drive down the field, and near the end of the half, Kaimi Fairbairn doinks this one in on a 46-yarder to make it 31-21 Texans. Third quarter. Hand off to Joe Mixon, who's going to run it up the middle and keep on going. Look at this man run, a 30-yarder. They keep driving down the field. First and goal, and Stroud decides to toss it to Mixon yet again for a touchdown run to make it 38-21 Texans. Next Titans possession, Rudolph, play action, looking and throwing for Tony Pollard. He's not going to find Tony Pollard, though. Instead, he finds Kamari Lassiter, who will take it back for Houston. Stroud in shotgun formation on that drive after that interception, and he's going to run it forward and decides, hey, might as well score with this one, a 21-yard touchdown run to make it 45-21 Texans. Titans would drive down the field, Rudolph trying to run forward with it himself, and he's going to run in for a touchdown, a 19-yarder to make it 45-28. But on the next Texans possession, Stroud dropping back, looking for an open man, waiting patiently, throws for Tank Dell yet again for the 28-yard touchdown to make it a 52-28 Houston lead. Fourth quarter, Nick Folk tries to get another field goal for the Titans. 52-yarder, though, doinks off the right upright, so the Texans still have a massive lead by about 24. A throw for Stephon Diggs, though, is going to extend that to a 31-point lead to make it 59-28. On the next Titans possession, a toss for Tony Pollard. He's going to run it along the far sideline. Got the first down, but unfortunately he fumbled the ball. Going to bounce around before it goes into the hands of Foley Fatukasi, who takes it back for Houston yet again. Stroud dropping back on the possession after that fumble recovery. A throw for Stephon Diggs is a touchdown, an 18-yard touchdown to make it 66-28 on the ensuing Titans kickoff. Jaquan Jackson, looking at this man dodge is amazing. A 36-yard kick return. Keep driving down the field. Mason Rudolph running forward, running into a lineman before he eventually decides to take it himself on a fourth down, and he runs 15 yards. They keep driving down the field eventually. Toss for Tony Pollard. He gets in for the touchdown. Texans win this one, though, 66-35. They improve to 6-5, and next week they head down to Jacksonville to take on the Jaguars in a big division rivalry game. Meanwhile, the Titans trying to save their season. They're on a big skid. They're 3-7, and next week they got to take on the Commanders, a team they could potentially win against to try and save their season. Finally, we go from one division rivalry battle to another as the Arizona Cardinals trying to keep pace with the rest of the NFC West. They take on the Seattle Seahawks. Greg Dortch returning for Arizona. First quarter, Kyler Murray in shotgun formation. Dropping back a little more. Plenty of time. Looks and throws for Marvin Harrison Jr. And that is a 65-yard run he gets here. A 65-yard reception, I should say. He's going to get this one into the red zone for Arizona. Gets good field position for the Cardinals. That'll help to set up Murray. Giving this one to James Conner. He's going to run along the far sideline for the touchdown here. A 14-yard touchdown to make it 7-0 Cardinals. On the ensuing kickoff, Laviska Shenault is going to be injured on the 17-yard return. So Zach Charbonnet is going to come in to replace him at the return position. At the very least for kick returns anyway. But the Seahawks wouldn't be able to do anything on that drive, so they'd be forced to punt. On the Cardinals' next drive, Jerome Baker gets the sack on Murray. A couple plays after that, Murray looking and throwing for Michael Wilson, who is wide open, gets them out of being very close to their own end zone. A 43-yarder. That'll unfortunately not do much. The Seahawks would get the ball back, and Jason Myers kicks a 27-yard field goal. Make it 7-3. Second quarter, Murray looking and throwing for James Conner over the middle. Leaping grab here, a 63-yarder. How about the work he has been doing for Arizona since he got here? Very next play, shotgun formation for the Cardinals. Murray looking and throwing for Michael Wilson. He dives for the touchdown here to make it 14-3 Cards. Next Seahawks possession, Smith dropping back. Gotta find somebody. Looking for an open man. Throws for Jackson Smith and Jigba. He's got this one into Arizona territory. A 37-yard catch. Unfortunately, that's also going to be all he can do for today. He's going to get injured. And Jake Bobo going to come in to replace him at the wide receiver position. Couple plays into the drive. Smith looking and throwing for Bobo. Unfortunately, seems like he overthrew him a little bit. Starling Thomas the fifth there to intercept it. And that'll help Kyler Murray out a little bit more. Unfortunately, Tyler Dodson sacking him for a loss of 1 will not help them, but to keep driving down the field, Murray gives it to James Conner for the 1-yard punch-in touchdown to make this a 21-3 game. Next Seahawks possession starts with this kickoff return. Zach Charbonnet injured on the 16-yard return, unfortunately, so Kenny McIntosh going to have to come in to replace him. But the Seahawks going to keep on driving down the field. Very close to halftime, Smith going to try and throw for DK Metcalf. Unfortunately, he finds Sean Murphy bunting in the end zone for a touchback. We go to the third quarter, though. Geno Smith gets another chance. Unfortunately, he's going to get taken down by Bilal Nichols for the loss of 6. Very next play, Smith. He hasn't really thrown to have a big play today. Tyler Lockett, and he's going to connect with him here. Look at Lockett run. He's going to get into Arizona territory. A 61-yard reception here. That'll keep him driving down the field. And on a 1st and goal, Smith looking for an open man. Going to find Jake Bobo for the touchdown over the middle. 21-10 Cardinals still have the lead. But the Cardinals would drive down the field, and Kyler Murray tries to run forward. Going to get this one off for Marvin Harrison Jr. for the touchdown, 28-10 Arizona. Seahawks next possession. They're going to drop back for Kenneth Walker III. Unfortunately, they find Budda Baker, who is still a great defensive weapon for the Cardinals. A couple plays later, though, Murray going to try and run forward with it himself. Unfortunately, he's going to be found and taken down by Jerome Baker. They're going to credit it as a sack. Very next play, though, Murray decides, you know what, I'll throw this one. And who is he going to throw to? James Conner over the middle for a touchdown, 35-10 Arizona. Fourth quarter, Jason Myers kicks a 51-yard field goal to make it 35-13. But the Cardinals would get the ball, drive down the field themselves, and Matt Prater going to kick a 52-yarder to make it 38-13 Arizona, extending their lead back to where it was before. So, fourth down, Geno Smith looking for an open man. Tries to find Kenneth Walker, and he can't do it before he's out of bounds. So that's a turnover on downs on an incompletion. Cardinals keep driving. Matt Prater's kick, a 31-yarder, goes through. 41-13 Arizona. Ensuing kickoff return. Kenny McIntosh trying to run forward, running along the near sideline. He's going to get stripped. It's going to get picked up by Michael Wilson, who's taking it back the other way. Could he score on this one? No, he will not, but he will take it 15 yards. And James Conner, he'll score on this one. A 4-yard touchdown run from him makes it 48-13. Next Seahawks possession, Smith in shotgun formation. Looking for Kenneth Walker yet again, but he finds Sean Murphy bunting yet again for his second interception off of Smith today. A couple plays later, throw for Trey McBride over the middle is a touchdown, 55-13. First play of the Seahawks ensuing drive, though. Gonna make this final score a little bit different than what it looked like before. A throw for DK Metcalf. Look at this man run, an 85-yard touchdown pass. 55-20 is your final score up in Seattle, Washington. Arizona improves to 4-6, keeping their season alive. Next week, they take on Minnesota. Meanwhile, Seattle dropping to 5-5. And next week, they got to head to the Big Apple to take on the New York Jets. What an exciting week it's been for football. And we've only got about 6 more weeks of this stuff. So hopefully, we'll get even more exciting weeks as we get closer and closer to the playoffs. Speaking of the playoffs, let's take a look at the standings that we have in the NFL right now. Starting with the AFC in the East, the Jets and Bills stay where they are because they had bye weeks. Actually, Buffalo going ahead of Miami because Miami lost. Both of those teams are at 5-5, and Buffalo has the tiebreaker. Jets still in the lead at 7-3, and the Patriots, don't look now, they're starting to catch up. They're only half a game behind Buffalo and Miami, and their bye week's in week 14. That's why they are half a game behind Buffalo and Miami. Moving onward to the AFC North, Bengals also had a bye week. They stay at top at 9-1. They're a game and a half ahead of Baltimore, who also has their bye week in week 14. Baltimore is half a game ahead of the Browns, who are at 7-3, and Pittsburgh, meanwhile, they're at 6-4. They're still a potential threat to get somewhere in the playoffs here. Moving on to the AFC South, we have the Jaguars now in the lead at 6-4, overtaking the Colts, who've now dropped to third in the division, tied with Houston for second actually, but Houston has the tiebreaker. Both teams at 6-5. Tennessee very much struggling right now. They're at 3-7. They're not out of it yet, but they're going to need a lot of help if they want to try and get into the playoffs. And meanwhile, in the AFC West, Kansas City now taking sole possession of first place of that division at 6-4. Now a game ahead of the Chargers, who are at 5-5. Denver and the Raiders are still technically in it, but both of these teams very much on the verge of being eliminated, especially the Raiders. Denver is a Week 14 bye-week team. And if we take a look at the AFC playoff picture right now, Cincinnati and the Jets would have the first-round byes. Kansas City would play host to Cleveland, and Jacksonville would play host to Baltimore. Meanwhile, the first 4 teams out are the Steelers, Texans, Colts, and Bills, with the Steelers only out by 1 game behind Cleveland. Moving on now to the NFC, we go to the East to start, where Philadelphia and Dallas, both teams are tied at 6-4. The Giants, no longer the last place team in the division. They are now at 2-8, as the Commanders have a Week 14 bye. They're at 2-9, but these two might not have much of a season for much longer, with how the rest of the conference looks. Moving onward to the NFC North, the Lions still maintain their stranglehold of a lead in that division at 8-2. They're 2 games ahead of Green Bay and Chicago, who, yeah, don't forget the Bears are still in this. Look at how they're doing. The Vikings, though, very much on the verge of elimination. They could actually get eliminated next week at 1-9, depending on how things go for them and for the teams that are ahead of them. Speaking of teams that can get eliminated, we look into the NFC South, where that's the same situation the Buccaneers are in. New Orleans still leads the division alongside Atlanta being in second since those two teams had bye weeks. Carolina is now a game behind the Falcons at 4-6, but that is still going to be a close race. Going to be very interesting to see how that goes. And meanwhile, in the NFC West, the 49ers currently have the lead by quite a big margin over Seattle, who's now at 5-5. San Francisco could potentially clinch the NFC West in the coming weeks, but it will take a bit of work from them and from some other teams around the league. Meanwhile, the Cardinals and Rams, don't count them out just yet. They're at 4-6. They're not that far behind Seattle. And if we look into the playoff positioning in the NFC, the Lions and 49ers would get first-round byes. The Saints would play host to the Bears, and Philadelphia would actually play host to the Packers. Meanwhile, the first four teams out are the Cowboys, Seahawks, Falcons, and Panthers. Though Arizona and the Rams also have the same record as the Panthers, Carolina has the tiebreaker over both of them. And that is going to do it for us here for Tecmo Rewind this week. A reminder that this Thursday we have our Thanksgiving matchups. First we have the Bears taking on the Lions, and then the Giants taking on the Cowboys. And then a reminder to come back here next week for our Week 13 Tecmo Rewind. For all of us here at SVGN, the Sports Video Game Network, I'm your host, Joe, saying good night, everybody!